Hello again, everybody, and welcome to American Top 40. I'm Kasem, and I'm all set to count down the 40 biggest hits on the pop chart. Well, we have 4 debuts this week. New songs by Madonna, Destiny's Child, Faith Hill, and Creed. Let the countdown begin.
Number 40.
Kicking off the survey is our first debut. It's from Creed, a rock band who got together 5 years ago in Tallahassee, Florida. From their second album, Human Clay, this is Creed with Higher. Well, now we're up to the song Higher. It's by Creed, whose lead singer used to sing in the shower. Now, there's nothing unusual about that. We all do it, except that singing helped him learn a whole new style of music. Creed's lead singer is Scott Stapp, and Scott says he grew up in a deeply religious family. For a long time, the only music he knew was the music he'd sing in the local church. But over time, he began to encounter music that wasn't religious in nature, and he found that contemporary music really spoke to him. But it's a long journey from religious music to pop music, and Scott says he was helped along in the shower. He got into the habit of putting on a record by the award-winning vocal group Take Six when he took showers. Take Six is both a contemporary Christian group and a pop, jazz, and R&B group, whose members include Claude McKnight, brother of pop singing star Brian McKnight. Now, Take Six helped Scott Stapp make that transition from one world of music to another while he was in the shower. Now, here's Scott and his band Creed at number 9 in our survey with Higher.
Top 40.
And that means we're up to the number 1 song in the USA. It's by a band whose first album cost $6,000 to make. They say that's really all a good album should cost. These days it's easy for an album to cost well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the members of this band from Tallahassee, Florida say that their roots are in the world of good old rock and roll. What matters is the music and the people who make it, and there's no reason you have to spend a lot of money to make that music. This band had a lot more than $6,000 to spend on their follow-up album, Human Clay. But guitar player Mark Tremonti says, quote, "If we only had a small amount of money to do our second album, the record still would have come out great. You don't have to spend $1 million to make a record. Even if we didn't have all this money, our producer, John Kerswig, would have done it for us and made it sound as good as he could." Unquote. Mark also says, the truth be told, his band likes working with a lower budget. Quote, "We don't like recording in expensive commercial studios. We'd rather be in a house and relax with people that we're comfortable with." Whatever the process, the end result for this band is an album that has sold over 6 million copies in the U.S. alone. An album that features the song that once again is the biggest hit in the land. The number 1 song in the USA on American Top 40 for the 4th week in a row is With Arms Wide Open by Creed. AT40 originates in Hollywood, California. Well, now we're up to the song My Sacrifice. It's by a band who have a lot of fans and a lot of detractors. They say it's their critics that help them write their songs. Mark Tremonti, guitar player of the band Creed, says, quote, "You either love us or you hate us. Quote, we haven't really done anything to anybody. We've always just had a positive message. There are just people who don't want anything positive to come out of this world." Unquote. But rather than being hurt by criticism, the band tries to turn those negatives into positives. Mark says, they're just writing another song for us. Unquote. In fact, the band begins its live shows with 3 songs that were written as a result of their critics: Bullets, Freedom Fighter, and What If? This week, the band that turns negative energy to positive has survey song number 19 on American Top 40, Creed with My Sacrifice. Once a week with AT40, and you know how radio's top hits rank across America. The Canadian band Default recently had their April and May tour dates postponed. They were touring with Creed, whose lead singer Scott Stapp was in a car accident. Easing down a notch, here's Default with Wasting My Time.
American Top 40.
Hi, this is Kasem. Last week on AT40, the Tallahassee band called Creed debuted with their latest hit, One Last Breath. To date, the rockers from Florida have placed 3 songs in the top 10. Is their 4th destined to follow the same path? We'll find out as we count down all the biggest hits in the USA on American Top 40 from the Premier Radio Network. These are radio's most played hits across the land. Well, now we're up to the song One Last Breath. It's by a band who are often described as a Christian rock group, but their leader says their religious beliefs cover a lot more territory. Critics often describe Creed as one of the most successful of the Christian rock bands, and lead singer Scott Stapp says that's certainly fair considering his background. He says he was raised in a very Christian family and that, quote, a lot of references and analogies I use are based on that. But he says there's more to the band's religious leanings than that. Quote, all 3 of us have faith. We all believe there is a God, but it's not a Christian God or a Buddhist God or a Muslim God. Scott says the God he believes in is, quote, the God I see when I look at my little boy. The God I see in nature when I look at the Grand Canyon or at beautiful snow-capped mountains. It's the God that is revealed to me through the world around me, unquote. The way Scott and his band reveal themselves to us is through their music. Music that this week climbs 4 notches to 29 on AT40. Here's Creed with One Last Breath.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
8 years ago, one of the hottest songs was a hit inspired by a bad dream singer Scott Stapp of Creed had over and over. In this dream, he was chased by a mysterious stranger who meant to do him harm. But Scott says after writing this song, he never had that nightmare again. From the year 2000, here's Creed with Higher.